on, everybody? It's JetsCentral coming back with another video, and the New York Jets 2019 official regular season schedule has been released, and I actually have it open right here. We're going to go through it, right? Not necessarily giving you guys a win-loss prediction because we don't really know how these 53-man rosters are going to, look come week one, due to injuries, possible trades. I mean, hell, we still haven't even hit the draft yet. So the rosters are still up in the air. So I can't really give you guys an accurate win-loss prediction video, but nonetheless, we're still going to go through it, talk about some of the things I like and don't like, and really what just jumps off the page. So really, I'm glancing at the schedule right now. The first two things that really just, stand out at me. Number one, we have 3 primetime games, 2 Monday night and 1 Thursday night. The 2 Monday night games, one in the beginning of the season, one in the middle of the season, home against the Cleveland Browns, home against the New England Patriots, and then the Thursday night game is Week 15 in Baltimore. Okay, that could be a huge game. So that for a team right now that's picking in the top 3, a bottom 3 team record-wise, for that team to have 3 primetime games, that's pretty solid. You can't really expect more or really want more than having 3 primetime games for a bottom 5 team in the league. That's pretty solid stuff. Okay, I'm really pumped up that we have 3 primetime games. So moving on, really the next point that just jumps off the page at me, we don't have any games on the West Coast. That's huge. We don't play in LA. We don't play in San Francisco. We don't play in Seattle. The only West Coast team we play is the Oakland Raiders, but we play them in MetLife Stadium, right, New Jersey. So that's really beneficial that the New York Jets are going to be, really playing the bulk of their games in 1 or 2 different time zones here. That's huge. Okay, now I guess it could, be a downfall or a negative if the New York Jets, happen to make the playoffs and play the Chargers in like the first round in LA or something crazy like that. But hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, we don't have any West Coast games at all. That's usually an issue for the teams like the Miami Dolphins, right? All those East Coast teams when they have to play in Oakland, in LA, in Seattle, and those cities. There's always that little bit of hesitation, that little bit of a pause that says, hey, we're in a completely different time zone here. Sometimes the players' bodies just don't adjust. So that's one huge underrated aspect, that I just take away from looking at the schedule, just glancing at it. So let's dive in. Week 1, let me see. Week 1, we're at home against the Buffalo Bills. Huge Week 1 game against a division rival Buffalo Bills. I'm looking at this Bills team. They are a team on the uprise. They have their coach in place, Sean McDermott. They had their young franchise quarterback in Josh Allen. This team, they were active in free agency. Cole Beasley. Got guys in the building like Mitch Morse. So this Buffalo Bill team really is young and ascending, okay, but we're playing them at home. This is a huge Week 1. The New York Jets have got to walk away victorious, because if you can start off the season 1-0 against a division rival, it just kind of gives you that extra leg up inside the your own division, whatever division you play in. So at home against the Buffalo Bills for Week 1, huge matchup. Next up, Week 2, Cleveland Browns, or at home against the Cleveland Browns on Monday Night Football. First glance, I'm looking at these back-to-back Week 1 and Week 2 games. I love it because we're going up against the Buffalo Bills, like I said, young, talented, uprising. Cleveland Browns, young, talented, uprising. Back-to-back at home. That's great. Okay, imagine how bad the schedule would have been if we would have had to play Week 1 in Buffalo, Week 2 in Cleveland, Monday Night Football. That just would have kind of thrown everything through a loop. I'm really glad that we get back-to-back home games against 2 young, up-and-coming teams that are going to be hungry, that both have a lot of expectations coming into the season, especially the Cleveland Browns. All right, so moving on, Week 3 we play in New England. That's going to be a little tricky, but you know what? We're going to be playing in New England when it's warm out. Remember, it's going to be warm out, and I really feel, and this isn't a fact or anything like that, but I really feel as though the last few seasons for the New York Jets, we've had to play New England in New England late in the season, like Week 15, 16, 17. I really feel as though that was really the schedule for the last 5 seasons. We've just had to play in New England in December, right? Just in those later months. And I'm really glad that we get to play New England in Foxborough early on the season, Week 3. So moving on, Week 4, it's a bye week. A little early for a bye week. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. So I'm not really digging the whole bye week in Week 4. That's a little early for my liking. Okay, so Week 5, in Philadelphia. All right, Philadelphia Eagles, great football team, obviously playing in Philadelphia, extremely hard to play, or really hard environment to play in against that team. The Philadelphia Eagles, they're a team that's probably going to try to bounce back this season. They're a team that has tons and tons of talent, great coaching staff over there in Philly. Obviously, playing in Philly, like I said, it's a tough environment to play in. But I will say, coming off the bye week, we'll have 2 weeks to prepare for the Philadelphia Eagles. Moving on, the Dallas Cowboys at home. This is a really interesting matchup, okay? Because the Dallas Cowboys, they're one of those teams that's, they can be 11-5, they can be 8-8, or they can maybe even be 7-9. You don't really know what you're getting from this Dallas Cowboy team. They have a lot of question marks, kind of going into the season. Is Dak Prescott going to be the future franchise quarterback? What's going on with the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore? Who calling plays, all that stuff. The Dallas Cowboys have a lot of questions going into the season, so we are playing them in the earlier months of the football season, and we got them at home. So that's definitely a winnable game, but we have to protect D-Law coming off the edge. Next up, we have the New England Patriots early again. Okay, so it's looking like we're going to be playing the Patriots both times in the first half of the season, and that game's actually going to be on Monday Night Football. I already know MetLife Stadium is going to be rocking for that game. Okay, that's going to be should I come up for that game? That game will be really, really fun to attend and just to watch and stuff like that. So at home against the New England Patriots on primetime football Monday night. Huge game. So next up, looking at week 8, we got at Jacksonville. Okay, at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is another one of those weird teams like the Cowboys. They're another team where they can be 11-5, 8-8, or they could be horrible. Nobody really knows because they did make some changes. They obviously got Nick Foles. They got a new offensive coordinator, John DeFilippo. They obviously have the great defense, obviously. Top 3 defense in the league. And it's in Jacksonville, and the New York Jets haven't really, last season we played in Jacksonville, and we just got absolutely slaughtered. But this isn't the same New York Jets team, right? New coach, new players, and stuff like that. So in Jacksonville for week 8, not the worst matchup in the world, and it should be a heavyweight match. So next up, we got at Miami. This is a nice section of the schedule because even though it's 2, back-to-back away games, they're both in Florida. Okay, they're both in Florida. That's like a 6 to 7 hour drive between Jacksonville and Miami. That's not bad. Okay, that is not bad. I'm looking at the Miami Dolphins game in Miami. First time we're playing them this season. What is it, week 9 here? So that's pretty solid stuff. Okay, that's pretty solid. Adam Gase he will obviously want revenge on his old squad and stuff like that. So that's another team. I really feel like that's another really winnable away game that the New York Jets have on their schedule here. At Miami, week 9. Okay, so moving on, we get the New York Giants at home. Obviously, it's a home game for both teams, MetLife Stadium. This is another game I'm definitely going to be at. So if you guys want to, go to that game and come say what's up, feel free. That'd just be incredible. So I'll definitely be at this game, New York Jets, New York Giants, for the Week 10 matchup. This is one of those games where the Jets and the Giants have been pretty 50-50, right? Sometimes it goes the Jets' way, sometimes it goes the Giants' way, and you can never really count out either side because there is that, that in-state rivalry here. Like, even if the Jets were amazing or the Giants were amazing, you can never really count out that other team. So next up, we got the Washington Redskins in Washington. This is going to be a really, really tough game. Okay, a really tough game because I'm looking at the NFC East. Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, Redskins. The Redskins are going to need to win games, okay? They're going to have to beat, if they want to make the playoffs, if they want to win their division, they're going to have to beat the teams that they're just more talented than, right? They need to win the games that they should be winning, okay? And on paper, they are better than the New York Jets, okay? So in Washington, that's going to be a really, really tough game, okay? Coming off the New York Giants, going to Washington, that's going to be a tough, tough matchup. But after that, we're going to be at home against the Oakland Raiders, all right? And obviously, the Oakland Raiders, nobody really, they're a complete wild card. Like, what are they going to do at quarterback? What's going on with this team? Antonio Brown, there's so many question marks regarding the Oakland Raiders. So I could see this as a winnable game as well. But I like it. We're at home. We're going to Washington, then back home against Oakland. Then we're flying out to Cincinnati. Okay, Cincinnati's week 13 here. Now, it will be cold. We might have to, plan a little bit of snow, that cold weather. Because Cincinnati, that's a freezing stadium. But I have to say, Cincinnati right now, I'm not really sold on this Bengals team. I don't really know how good this team's going to be. Although I love Zach Taylor, he's the right decision for the head coach. Even if the Bengals don't win a lot of games this season, you have to stick with Zach Taylor. He will get it turned around. But nonetheless, we're still playing in Cincinnati late in the season. So next, we got the back home, right? So going from Cincinnati back home to MetLife Stadium to play the Miami Dolphins, right? The division rival Miami Dolphins. Again, another winnable game here at home late in the season. You don't really know how the season's going to be panning out. So if the New York Jets are making a push for the playoffs, the Jets are more talented than this Miami Dolphins team. This Dolphins team has a rookie coaching staff, possibly a rookie quarterback starting for them. Very, very, very winnable game. The New York, I would say right now, this is a must-win game for the New York Jets. Okay, what is it? Week 14? That's a must win for the New York Jets. Week 14 against the Dolphins. So next up, week 15, we're at Baltimore. Thursday Night Football, right, for a primetime game. So a nice little away home in the Baltimore Ravens, and then we have the Pittsburgh Steelers after that. But the Baltimore Raven matchup, the Ravens, I'm looking at the Ravens team right now, and that's a team, right, they made the playoffs, okay? They can run the ball. They can rush the ball, right? Bringing in Mark Ingram, Lamar Jackson. Obviously, is he developing as a pocket passer and stuff like that? But really, when you get down to it, I really feel as though this Baltimore Ravens team is going to be a run-heavy, run-first team. The New York Jets in recent years have been really, really effective against stopping the run. Obviously, it's going to be completely different now because it's a new coaching staff, new defensive coordinator and stuff, and of course, we don't really know the 53-man roster. So we could upgrade at the position anyway, right? Those interior defensive linemen. But really, I mean, when you look at it, the Baltimore Ravens, are they a more talented team than this New York Jets squad? Yes. It's in Baltimore. It's on a primetime game. Or it's on it is a primetime game. So that's going to be a very, very tough matchup as well. Baltimore could be in play for a wild card or even the AFC North. So that's probably going to be a must-win for the Ravens. So moving on, like I said before, at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a huge game. Okay, I would have to say right now, right next to Jets-Giants and Jets-Patriots Monday Night Football, I would have to say this is the game I'm most looking forward to. Week 16, this could play huge dividends down the stretch for the playoff picture, whether it's the Jets getting in, whether it's the possibly knocking the Steelers out. Obviously, we have the Le'Veon Bell. We had the bad blood between Le'Veon Bell and the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. So this is going to be a huge, huge game. Okay, that Week 16 matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Excuse me. So then Week 17, we're on the road in Buffalo. That's going to be a tough matchup. Okay, it kind of brings back nightmares of 2015 when Week 17 we had to play in Buffalo, and all we had to do was win, and we were in, and we did not get the job done. Fitzpatrick played horrible, wide receivers played horrible, defense couldn't stop anybody, and we lost Week 17, and we got bounced from the playoffs. Hopefully, we're not in that same situation again where it's a make or break game. And if we are, hopefully we get the job done. Now, obviously, it's a completely different Jets squad, but you guys know what I mean. Just late in the season in Buffalo, it's going to be cold. The Buffalo Bills fans, they pack the house. And you never know. The Buffalo Bills could be in play for a wild card, too. I mean, they're a nice, young, ascending team. So that's going to be a crazy, crazy game. And I'm looking at this Jets schedule, and I have to say, although we have some tough matchups, Patriots, Eagles, Redskins, they're another tough squad. Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens, Cleveland Browns. Even though we have a bunch of tough games on the schedule, I really, really like. It feels like it's like the first time ever that I'm saying this. I really like how it's laid out. The back-to-back away games in Florida. I like that. I like how we're starting off 2 games at home, 1 game again. 1 game in prime time. Both of those teams are nice young teams, so I like how we're getting back-to-back at home right there. New England, we're playing them in the warmer weather early on this season. I would have to say the schedule right now, it's pretty favorable. It's pretty favorable, just how it's laid out. Okay, so how it's laid out, I have to say I'd probably give it like a B+. There's not really that much complaints. I remember like last season we had first 3 games we had in the first 10 days of the season. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's a complete joke. Okay, so we don't have any like screwed up things like that. We don't have any like back-to-back like Monday night, Thursday night games or anything crazy. Pretty run-of-the-mill. Pretty beneficial schedule. Okay, so let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section about the schedule. Do you like it? Do you hate it? And of course, give me your reasons why. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and go Jets.